Why are your muscles still shrinking, even when you're eating well, walking daily, and doing everything right? You eat better, you move more, you're trying harder than ever, and yet your body isn't bouncing back. The soreness lingers. The strength doesn't quite return, and sometimes it feels like your muscles are just slipping away. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because the missing piece might not be protein, it might be a mineral, magnesium. It doesn't get the spotlight, but for adults over 50, low magnesium is like holding your strength hostage. It quietly blocks recovery, slows energy production, even disrupts sleep and insulin response. And here's the kicker. You could be eating all the right foods, even getting enough protein, but if this one mineral is missing, your body may not be able to use that protein to rebuild muscle. Let's make this real. A clinical study from the University of Palermo found something surprising. Older adults who supplemented with magnesium had significantly better muscle strength, even when their protein intake was exactly the same. That's right. Same protein, different magnesium, different results. So today we're going deeper, not just into what magnesium does, but why it matters, and how to apply the research to your life one simple step at a time. We'll explore the shocking link between magnesium and muscle decline, how your brain, nervous system, and recovery all depend on it, and practical, affordable ways to rebuild strength starting now. Because this isn't just about nutrients, it's about reclaiming your strength one smart shift at a time. Have you ever wondered why some workouts leave you energized while others leave you sore and drained for days? Let me know in the comments you're not alone, and by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what to do next. Let's begin. Number 1, the hidden link between magnesium and muscle protein synthesis. You might be eating protein, lifting weights, doing everything right, but still losing muscle. Why? Most people think muscle is built in the gym or in the kitchen with a high-protein meal, but there's a hidden player that rarely gets the spotlight. And without it, your muscles simply can't grow. That missing link is magnesium. Now, I know, it doesn't sound as exciting as creatine or collagen, but here's the reality. Magnesium is the mineral that makes muscle protein synthesis possible. It's like trying to bake bread without heat. You can have the finest flour, yeast, and dough, but without that spark, nothing rises. Here's the science. Magnesium acts as a cofactor in the enzymes that turn amino acids into muscle tissue. Without it, the protein you eat can't be properly used by your muscles. It just stalls. That's why people over 50 can have perfect diets, take protein powders, and still struggle to maintain strength. Let me give you a real-world example. John, a 62-year-old former firefighter, was hitting the gym 3 times a week. He tracked his protein, ate clean, slept well, but no matter what he did, his strength kept sliding. What changed? His doctor ran a deeper nutrient panel and discovered his magnesium levels were low. They adjusted his intake. Within 6 weeks, his energy returned, recovery improved, his lifts went back up because it wasn't the protein, it was his body's ability to use that protein. Here's a small but powerful question for you. Have you ever felt like you're doing all the right things but your results don't show it? Could magnesium be the missing variable? Take a moment, reflect on your last week. Did you eat magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, or beans? Most adults over 50 don't, and nearly 70% fall short of the daily minimum. Try this. Look at your typical meals and estimate your magnesium intake. Even a simple food journal for 3 days can open your eyes. And tell me in the comments, have you ever tracked your magnesium? Just type yes or not yet. You might be surprised. Now here's the twist. Even with enough protein, your muscles won't respond unless your energy systems are working. And that brings us to the next invisible force behind muscle growth after 50. Let's talk about your power factory, the mitochondria, and why magnesium may be the key to turning it back on. Number 2, the power factory problem, why you feel weak even with exercise. Why do some people train harder and still feel weaker over time? You show up, you exercise, you eat your protein, you do all the things they say you're supposed to do, but deep inside, your body still feels tired, like something's draining your strength before you even start. This is a common story for many people over 50, and the surprising reason might not be in your muscles, it's in your power factories. Inside each muscle cell are tiny engines called mitochondria. They're what generate the energy that fuels your every move, from lifting a grocery bag to walking up the stairs. Think of them like batteries. But as we age, these batteries don't hold their charge as well. And when magnesium is low, it's like trying to run those batteries with a frayed wire. Magnesium plays a critical role in activating ATP. That's the main energy molecule your body uses. But ATP doesn't work on its own. It needs magnesium to function. No magnesium, no energy, no muscle power. Let me tell you about Linda. She's 64, walks every morning, eats a balanced diet, but still felt weak, especially in her legs. When we looked closer, her magnesium levels were consistently low. After just 3 weeks of magnesium-rich meals and a supplement at bedtime, she felt like her legs had life again. Not superpowers, just strength that felt real. Here's a simple way to reflect. Have you ever felt more exhausted after starting an exercise program than before? Drop a yes or me too in the comments. You're not alone. One more insight: most people think muscle weakness is a workout problem, but often it's a cellular energy problem. Your muscle tissue is trying to do its job, but without fuel, without clean wiring, it's like trying to power a house with a dying generator. And even with enough fuel, your body can still sabotage its own strength. If one hormone is out of balance, it's the hormone most people ignore, cortisol, and that's what we'll explore next. Number 3. Stress, cortisol, and the muscle wasting spiral. What if your biggest muscle wasting trigger isn't what you eat, but what you feel? You can be eating well, sleeping decently, even exercising regularly. But if stress is quietly running in the background, it can undo all your hard work. That's not theory, that's cortisol in action. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone. It helps you stay alert in emergencies, mobilize energy, and survive hard situations. But here's the problem. When cortisol stays elevated, not just in moments, but for days, weeks, even months, your body shifts into a long-term survival mode. And survival mode is not a place where your muscles thrive. Instead of building and repairing, your body breaks down muscle tissue for fuel. It stores fat around the abdomen. It disrupts sleep. And it blunts your sensitivity to growth signals. Let me tell you about John. A 58-year-old teacher. John walked every day, ate clean, even lifted weights 3 times a week, but he kept losing strength. Felt sore longer after workouts, had trouble sleeping. It wasn't until we looked deeper that we saw the problem. He was constantly in stress mode, long commutes, family pressure, financial worry. On the outside, he seemed calm. On the inside, his body was screaming. His cortisol was elevated around the clock. Once he began using stress management tools, magnesium-rich meals, guided breathing, and better sleep hygiene, something remarkable happened. Not only did his mood improve, his muscles began to respond again, recovery got faster, strength returned, and his energy was no longer running on fumes. Have you ever felt that? Like no matter how much effort you put in, your results plateau or even reverse. That might not be weakness, it might be stress in disguise. Take a moment. How often do you truly feel relaxed in your day? Do you fall asleep easily or lie awake with a racing mind? Do you feel calm most of the day, or wired, rushed, even when there's nothing urgent? If this sounds familiar, hit the like button or share in the comments. Has stress ever stalled your strength? Because recognizing the pattern is the first step to reversing it. Now here's the twist. Even when stress is under control, there's one habit that determines whether your muscles actually grow or shrink. And it doesn't happen in the gym, it happens while you sleep. Let's go there next. Number 4, the sleep connection, why muscle isn't built in the gym. You might think the gym is where strength is made, but in reality, it's your bedroom. Strange, right? Lifting weights feels like effort, but lying still in bed feels like doing nothing. And yet, most of your muscle isn't built when you move, it's rebuilt while you rest. Let me explain. When you fall into deep sleep, your body enters a hormonal rhythm. That's when growth hormone surges. And this hormone isn't just about height or youth. It's your body's signal to repair, rebuild, and grow lean tissue, your muscle. Now here's where it gets surprising. That hormone release gets disrupted if you don't sleep deeply. And without it, your muscle recovery slows to a crawl. You can eat well, train smart, and still lose muscle. If you're missing that overnight repair window, Carol, a retired teacher I worked with, lifted weights 3 times a week. Her diet was dialed in, but her strength kept declining. Why? She wasn't sleeping. She'd wake up every few hours. And her body simply never got into that deep, restorative state. Once we added a wind-down routine and magnesium glycinate in the evening, her sleep improved, and within weeks, her energy and strength rebounded. Here's something to try. Track your sleep for the next 3 nights. Use a simple app or jot down how long and how deeply you slept. Then notice your energy during workouts. You might be surprised. If this resonates, let me know in the comments. What's your sleep like lately? Have you ever noticed how your workouts feel different after a poor night's sleep? What's one small change you could make tonight for better recovery? Because when your sleep improves, your strength returns. And when that happens, another silent muscle enemy sneaks in. It's called insulin resistance. Let's explore how it can quietly sabotage your strength even when your diet looks good on paper. Number 5, insulin resistance, the metabolic muscle killer. You're doing everything right, eating better, moving more, but your body still feels like it's working against you. Why does this happen? Why do some people eat a healthy meal, exercise regularly, and still struggle to build or maintain muscle? The answer may lie in a silent process called insulin resistance, and it's more common after 50 than most people realize. Let's break it down simply. Insulin is a hormone. Its job is to act like a delivery driver, picking up nutrients, especially glucose, and delivering them into your muscle cells where they can be used for energy and recovery. When this process works well, you build strength, you recover faster, your muscles stay full and active. But over time, especially with stress, lack of sleep, or a processed diet, your cells can become numb to insulin's message. They stop opening the door, and that's when the trouble begins. The nutrients stall in your blood or turn to fat. Your muscles miss the fuel they need, and slowly, silently, they begin to shrink. This is insulin resistance. It doesn't always show up on blood tests right away, but you might feel it as stubborn belly fat, energy crashes, brain fog, or muscle that just won't grow, no matter how clean you eat. I once worked with a client named Tom, 62, a retired firefighter. He walked daily, ate his veggies, but he couldn't figure out why he was losing muscle and gaining fat. His doctor ran some tests, normal fasting glucose. But his insulin levels, sky high. His body was working overtime to keep blood sugar stable, but under the surface, his muscle cells were starving. With a few small changes, cutting back on refined carbs, walking after meals, adding magnesium and sleep support, Tom reversed course. His muscles came back, and so did his confidence. Here's the key. Insulin isn't just a sugar hormone, it's anabolic. It helps drive amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, into your tissue. When it's working right, it's your muscle's best friend. When it's not, it quietly becomes its worst enemy. If you've ever felt like your strength isn't matching your effort, insulin resistance could be the invisible hand holding you back. Here's your micro challenge. After your largest meal of the day, take a 10-minute walk. Studies show this one habit can lower blood sugar by up to 30%. It helps insulin do its job. And over time, that means more energy, less fat storage, and stronger muscles. Have you ever noticed your body storing fat instead of building muscle, despite doing all the right things? Drop a comment below. Your story might help someone else connect the dots, but building muscle after 50 isn't just about metabolism, it's also about connection. And in the next section, we'll explore something surprising. Why the real driver of strength may not be your biceps or legs but your nervous system. Let's go there next. Number 6. Your brain is the real muscle, the neuromuscular link. You can lift weights every day. But if your brain and muscles aren't speaking clearly, you're still at risk. Have you ever seen someone strong but clumsy, someone with good muscle tone yet struggling with balance or coordination? That disconnect may not be in the legs or arms, it may be in the brain. You see, muscle strength isn't just physical, it's neurological. Every time you rise from a chair, catch yourself from tripping, or even reach into a cupboard, your brain sends hundreds of signals, fast, precise, and perfectly timed. And magnesium plays a hidden but critical role in that process. It's not just fueling the muscle, it's fueling the message. Magnesium helps stabilize nerve signals so your brain can tell your muscles exactly when to fire and when to relax. Now let me share a story. Rita was 72. She'd been going to a fitness class for years, light weights, walking, even yoga. But one day she slipped stepping off a curb. No broken bones, but the fall shook her confidence. She told me later, "I thought I was doing everything right. My legs felt strong, but I hesitated. I didn't trust my body to catch me," and this next part might surprise you. Her physical strength was intact, but her magnesium levels were low. Her nerves weren't sending clear signals. There was static on the line, like trying to have a phone call with weak reception. This is what researchers call neuromuscular degradation. And it doesn't always show up as weakness, it shows up as hesitation, as slower reaction times, as the quiet fear of falling again. That fear, it becomes a loop. People move less. Their muscles weaken more, and the connection between brain and body keeps fading. Let's put this into perspective. Imagine your nervous system like your body's internal GPS. When that signal weakens, it's easy to misstep, literally. Studies show low magnesium increases fall risk in older adults. It reduces proprioception, your sense of where your limbs are in space, and that's not just about accidents, it's about autonomy. Now here's a simple, science-backed way to strengthen that neuromuscular link. Incorporate exercises that retrain your brain, single-leg stands, heel-to-toe walks, slow, controlled movements. They wake up the brain's wiring, and when paired with optimal magnesium intake, that wiring becomes sharper, faster, more reliable. If this resonates with you, tap the like button. It helps this message reach more people who need it. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced that strange moment when your body felt ready but your brain seemed one step behind? Drop a comment below. Let's explore it together. Because even if you're doing everything right, eating well, exercising, sleeping, there may be something silently stealing your magnesium every single day, and we'll uncover what that is next. Number 7. Medications that drain your magnesium tank. Could your medication be silently draining your strength? It sounds dramatic, but for many adults over 50, the answer is yes. You're working hard, eating better, maybe even supplementing with magnesium. But what if the very pills you're taking to stay healthy are quietly flushing magnesium right out of your system? Let's look at the facts. Certain common medications are known magnesium depleters. Diuretics, proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux, some antibiotics, even certain blood pressure medications and birth control pills, they all have one thing in common. They increase magnesium loss through urine or block its absorption. And the longer you're on them, the more that silent drain adds up. Take Steve, 68, he was doing everything right. Morning walks, strength training, leafy greens on his plate, but still felt constantly sore, foggy, and exhausted. It wasn't until his doctor reviewed his prescriptions, including a daily PPI for reflux and a thiazide diuretic, that the connection became clear. When he added magnesium-rich foods and adjusted supplement timing, things started to shift. Better energy, fewer cramps, sharper thinking, same workouts, different outcome. So here's a small but powerful check-in. Make a list of the medications you're currently taking. Then ask yourself, could any of them be quietly sabotaging your magnesium levels? If you've ever felt like your efforts weren't paying off, this might be a missing puzzle piece. Have you experienced muscle cramps, poor sleep, or brain fog, even while doing everything right? Drop a comment below. You're probably not alone, and your story could help someone else connect the dots. Now here's the good news. There's a powerful way to refill that magnesium tank, and it doesn't start with a pill, it starts with your plate. Let's move into exactly how to do that simply, affordably, and deliciously. Number 8. Food first, the real magnesium protocol. What if the most powerful magnesium supplement isn't found in a bottle, but in your breakfast bowl? It sounds simple, but for people like Carla, it was life-changing. She's 67. Still active, still strong, but 6 months ago, she couldn't finish a walk without knee pain and leg cramps. She assumed it was age or arthritis. Her doctor suggested stretching and rest, but nothing helped. It wasn't until a dietitian asked a different question, "Carla, what do you eat for breakfast?" Turns out she'd been skipping magnesium-rich foods for years. No leafy greens, no beans, no seeds. Just toast, coffee, maybe an egg, not bad, but not enough. When she began adding pumpkin seeds to her oatmeal, sautéed spinach to lunch, and a handful of almonds in the afternoon, her cramps started to fade. Energy returned. Even her sleep improved. Why does food matter so much? Because magnesium in whole foods is surrounded by cofactors. Nutrients like vitamin B6, fiber, and antioxidants that help your body absorb and use it efficiently. Supplements are tools, but food is the foundation. Let's get specific. Here are some magnesium-rich foods and how much they offer. Pumpkin seeds, 1 oz equals around 150 mg. Cooked spinach, 1 cup equals 150 mg. Black beans, 1 cup equals 120 mg. Almonds and cashews, about 75-85 mg per handful. Quinoa, 1 cup equals 120 mg. Avocado, 1 medium equals 60 mg. Dark chocolate 70% plus, 1 Oz equals mg. Now imagine this meal plan: breakfast, oats with pumpkin seeds, banana and almond butter; lunch, quinoa salad with black beans, avocado, spinach; snack, a square of dark chocolate and a few cashews; dinner, salmon or lentils with greens and sweet potato. With that, you're already well on your way to hitting 350-420 mg per day through real food. Here's a simple reflection question. Have you been relying on pills while ignoring what's on your plate? Drop a comment. What's one magnesium-rich food you can add to your next meal? Let's build practical strength, one plate at a time. And remember, magnesium from food not only helps your muscles, it tends to spark a domino effect. Better meals lead to better sleep. Better sleep leads to better recovery, and recovery is where real strength is built. That's when smart supplementation comes into play, but not all magnesium pills are created equal. Let's clear that up once and for all. Number 9, supplement smarter. What form, when, and with what? You could be taking magnesium every day and still be deficient. Here's why: not all magnesium is created equal. And for people over 50 trying to rebuild muscle, the form of magnesium you take might be the reason you're not seeing results, even if your dosage looks perfect on paper. Let's meet Daniel, a retired firefighter, still active, still sharp. He added a magnesium supplement to his routine after hearing it could help with soreness, but months later nothing changed. Still the same fatigue, same sleep issues. Turns out he was taking magnesium oxide, cheap, easy to find, but with less than 4% absorption. Most of it was going right through his system, and here's the kicker. He thought magnesium didn't work when really he just needed to choose the right type. Think of supplements like tools. You wouldn't use a hammer to fix a light switch. In the same way, the type of magnesium you take should match your goal. Let's break down 4 forms worth knowing. Magnesium glycinate, calming and highly absorbable. Perfect before bed, especially if muscle repair and better sleep are your goals. Think of it as a nighttime lullaby for your muscles. Magnesium citrate, more energizing and supports digestion. Great after workouts when you're also rehydrating. Magnesium malate, linked to ATP production. This is your morning starter, ideal for boosting energy if you feel sluggish by noon. Magnesium threonate, the brain booster. It crosses the blood-brain barrier and may support memory and focus, something that naturally pairs with neuromuscular health. Now here's the mistake many people make. They combine magnesium with calcium or zinc at the same time. These minerals compete for absorption, so space them out by at least 2 hours. And here's another insider trick. Take magnesium with food rich in vitamin B6 like bananas, oats, or chickpeas. B6 helps escort magnesium across the gut wall more efficiently. Let's return to Daniel. He switched to magnesium glycinate at night, malate in the morning. Within 2 weeks, his soreness dropped, his energy stabilized. He even said he felt lighter during workouts. Have you ever bought a supplement hoping it'd help but ended up more confused and disappointed? You're not alone. That's why getting form and timing right matters just as much as dosage. Here's a simple daily protocol to start with. Morning, magnesium malate 125-250 mg with your first meal. Post-workout, magnesium citrate 200-300 mg with water. Evening, magnesium glycinate 200-400 mg 1 hour before bed. Brain focus support optional. Magnesium threonate earlier in the day. Start slow, track how you feel. Use a simple 7-day tracker: energy, sleep, soreness. Your body will tell you what's working. If you're finding value in this kind of science-backed guide, consider subscribing. We break down complex health into practical strategies every week. Now let's zoom out. Supplements are powerful, but they're just one piece. And in the next part, we'll return to the real foundation, your food. Because what you eat builds not just muscle, but momentum. Let's move on to number 10. Food first, the real magnesium protocol. Before you reach for another supplement bottle, step into your kitchen. Because the real foundation of magnesium and muscle is found on your plate, let's start with a simple truth. Magnesium from whole food isn't just magnesium, it's part of a nutrient network. You get enzymes, fiber, antioxidants, and supportive minerals all working together. Supplements are helpful, but food is how your body learns to function. Let's meet Sylvia. She's 68. Loves to walk, lift light weights, and cook for her grandkids. For years, she thought she was eating healthy oatmeal in the morning, a salad here and there. But when she tracked her meals, she realized she was barely hitting 200 milligrams of magnesium per day. No wonder she felt sluggish. She wasn't fueling her recovery. Here's the magic. Within just 1 week of adding key magnesium-rich foods, her sleep improved, she had less cramping, and she felt stronger during her workouts. So where do you start? Here are some of the top magnesium-rich whole foods that also support muscle health. Pumpkin seeds, just 1 ounce gives you around 150 mg. Toss them in oatmeal or eat as a snack. Spinach, 1 cooked cup has 150 mg. Add to stir fries or blend into smoothies. Black beans, 1 cup offers 120 mg. Perfect for soups or paired with brown rice. Almonds and cashews, just a handful, gives 70-90 mg. Rich in both magnesium and healthy fats. Avocado, around 60 mg per medium fruit. Great in salads, toast, or paired with eggs. Quinoa, about 120 mg per cup cooked. A fantastic muscle-fueling grain. Now here's how to put it all together in a real-world, budget-friendly plan. Breakfast. Oats cooked in almond milk topped with pumpkin seeds, banana slices, and a spoonful of almond butter. Lunch, a quinoa salad with black beans, spinach, avocado, lemon olive oil dressing. Snack. Handful of cashews and a square of dark chocolate. Yes, it contains magnesium too. Dinner, grilled salmon or tofu, roasted sweet potato, sautéed greens with garlic and olive oil. That's over 400-500 mg of magnesium, mostly from food. And here's what people often forget. Eating magnesium-rich meals doesn't just rebuild muscle, it anchors other habits. Better meals, right arrow; better sleep, right arrow; better workouts, right arrow; stronger recovery. It becomes a positive feedback loop. Let's pause for a small challenge. Try this for just 7 days. Track your magnesium-rich foods. Use a notebook or a simple app. Every time you eat something like greens, nuts, or legumes, write it down. You'll be amazed how awareness creates action, and how action builds strength, not just physical, but internal. What's one magnesium-rich food you already love? Drop it in the comments. It might inspire someone else watching. Now that you've seen how food can power your strength from the inside out, let's take one final step. Because this isn't just about nutrition or muscles, it's about ownership and the daily choices that help you reclaim control of your body, your energy, and your independence. Let's move into our conclusion. You're not just rebuilding muscle, you're reclaiming power. Let's take a moment to step back. What we've explored together isn't just about one mineral, it's about a quiet shift happening inside your body. A shift that can either take your strength or help you take it back. If you're over 50, you've probably felt it. That sense that your body doesn't respond like it used to, more soreness, less bounce back. The subtle fear that your independence is slipping, one missed workout, one bad night's sleep, and suddenly everything feels harder. But today you've seen something different. Magnesium isn't just a supplement, it's a signal. A reminder that your body still wants to heal, grow, and move. It just needs the right conditions. We've talked about the science: ATP, protein synthesis, stress hormones, neuromuscular control. But behind all that is a deeper truth. Your body isn't broken. It's waiting for rest, for real food, for you to start supporting it instead of pushing against it. You don't have to do everything at once. Just one action today. Add pumpkin seeds to your breakfast. Swap your evening scrolling for magnesium glycinate and a walk around the block. Say yes to sleep. Say yes to strength, because strength is more than biceps or squats. It's being able to lift your grandchild. It's catching yourself before a fall. It's walking into a room feeling steady, awake, and alive. That's not just muscle, that's power. That's you reclaiming your capacity to move freely, to live fully, and to choose your future. Here's your final challenge. Pick one insight from today and put it into practice for 7 days. Just one, then watch what happens. You'll begin to shift, maybe subtly at first, but over time, those little shifts become a foundation of strength you can trust. And if this episode gave you something to think about or something to act on, please like this video. It helps others find it too, and we're building a community here for people just like you, people who are done with decline and ready to rebuild. So subscribe and let's keep growing, one smart, science-backed step at a time. Your muscles are listening, your brain is ready, and your next chapter of strength, it starts now.